Hello, it's Alexa here with Kelowna Now. I am excited to be sitting down with James Shaw, CEO and co-founder of Twincreek Media. So actually, before we get started, I do want to highlight you are a winner in the Best of Kelowna this year, and that's kind of how you came on to the podcast today. So there's so many categories, James, I forget what you won.
Website development, I believe.
Oh, that is very exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
So we have an interesting topic. I mean, it's top of mind, but before we get into it, can we just get a little bit of an introduction of yourself and what you guys do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm James, one of the founders of Twincreek Media. We're a marketing agency here in Kelowna. We've been around for quite a long time now. We celebrated 20 years last year. We have a really cool team of people across town. There's 10 of us in the office, and we help businesses grow. So we're really focused on being like a powerhouse marketing team that companies can just plug in and then start growing their company as if that whole team was kind of transplanted into their own business. So we only work with one company per industry, per area. So very, very exclusive, very loyal, and we help them win. It's a lot of fun. We've been doing it for a while. We have some good experience and good track record. But yeah, I mean, today, man, the fast pace, right? So today's topic is AI, but humans for the win.
Yeah. So can we actually dive into that a little bit more? Because we were in the reception area talking about what is really important to you. Let's kick off. Just what did you say your motto is still going to be?
Yeah, it's a really interesting phrase. We met with the team yesterday, and it was important for us to own our true DNA, like our identity, and discuss this in detail. And we came up with this phrase. It's not actually our phrase. But we're going to be a human-first company. That sounds completely weird saying this, but it's 2025. Mm-hmm. Imagine 2035. That will be a differentiator. Human-first companies, because some companies will embrace technology so hard they will be an AI-first company, human-supported. Mm-hmm. But I think we're never going to be a 1,000-person business. We have no desire to be. Mm-hmm. We like the tight-knit boutique feel that we have, and we work with other mid-sized companies as well. Mm-hmm. So which are again probably never going to be those global names, those brands that you see. Human first is going to be important because that's what's going to set us apart in an age of automation and generative blah, 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 endless, boring vanilla, mm-hmm. right? So not that we are Luddites and we love technology. I mean, we're super savvy, mm-hmm. but human first always.
Amazing. So it sounds like you really just want to keep that personal customer service, what made you guys who you are in this
right?
20 years of business.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, AI is getting pretty darn good at having a personality. Yeah. That sounds weird as well to say this, but there's so many things that sound weird, like especially a couple of years ago, that are almost becoming normal. Mm-hmm. But it's still, I mean, we're biological. We're not robots, so there's always going to be a difference.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, well, I think most people know what AI is, but if you could quickly just sum up, what is AI?
Yeah. Well, I have some notes here that actually talk about what this is, so I can just read it off, and then I won't mess it up.
Yeah.
So AI is artificial intelligence. Simply means computer systems that can do tasks that usually a human intelligence would do. So it can start to think, understand language, make decisions, analyze data, and even talk with customers. So, yeah.
Very cool. So why should people care about this right now? You hear, I feel like you have the early adopters and you have the people that think this is going away, but why should we care?
Mm-hmm. The biggest reason you should care is because it's only getting more prevalent and it's coming faster than you think. So, if we were running the clock, say, to the late 1800s and people were on horseback everywhere, mm-hmm. right? That's how they got around. Yeah. Then a couple motorized coaches, hit the streets. It's like, that's weird. That's so silly. There's never going to be things with engines that replace horseback.
Yeah.
And of course, fast forward a little bit, and obviously it's cars everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so why you should care is because it's coming. You can't stop it. So even if you don't like it, you have to kind of understand what to take and what to leave. Mm-hmm. Also, people, ask people, do you value your time?
Mm.
Because AI can help save time. It can also multiply your time. So if you want to be more productive, maybe not work as hard, but work smart, AI is a great coworker. It's a great teammate. And that idea of AI actually sitting beside you in a chair, metaphorically speaking, for now.
For now. I was going to say, yeah, for now.
But it's world changing, especially for people that sit at a desk, right? I mean, the people that have jobs that are physical, that's years and years away from really impacting them. But desk jobs, white collar jobs, office jobs, wow. I mean, AI is becoming a great coworker.
Yeah. I think also people need to look at it in a sense that like we are such a grind, like our society is such a grind and do more and do more and do more. And you hear the word burnout all the time. So maybe we actually can spend time with our kids or our significant others, focus on our health, but still be able to do work in a maybe shorter period of time.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you talk to me a little bit about how, like, I mean, it's not like the AI has actually been around for a while, but how did your team start to learn this? Or did you guys take some courses? Are you self-taught? Like, can you talk about just even as a marketing company?
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's not one route, but I'd be interested to learn how you started implementing it with your team and everything.
Yeah. Probably a mixture. Like, fundamentally, we're a curious team. So, we have tech jobs. We're also probably on average on the platforms like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and these platforms where you're exposed to breaking leading edge technology. So, being curious and then seeing it, you're kind of like, what is this all about, right? And then you start to hear about the benefits. And like, well, maybe we should check this out. We should try to maybe, experiment with some tools and see how it can help. So that's kind of where it started, I guess, just a raw curiosity about technology. And then once you kind of get a sense of how it can help you, and actually what you just said, like make your job like better day to day, like real practical stuff, right? And you're like, then you get excited about it. You get excited about the potential, and this is where it kind of goes into, can bots help your business? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
But there's so many but, if, and be careful of. And so, but yeah, put simply, that's how we got started.
Did you also, I'm curious, did you have any pushback with your team, or was your team all on board, or like even telling you more like, okay, we need to do this, we need to change this? Can you? Definitely. Yeah. We're all wired differently. Some people are natural nerds. Yeah. Some people are not at all. The last thing they want to do after they, clock out is more tech. Yeah. I mean, we use the word unplugged, right? Especially in Kelowna, we're in BC. People hit the hills. They go camping, like the exact opposite of staring at a screen or talking with AI or whatever. So we're all different. Yeah, I know. It's inevitable that you have to kind of go with it, right? A little bit, right? As this coworker, this teammate, because our team uses AI all different ways. Yeah. And it's actually kind of cool to collaborate and see where people are using it in different ways. And they're like, oh gosh, why have I been doing it that way? Yeah. So it is conversation and collaboration. So what would you tell businesses that you're working with or out there? Why do you think what would be your advice do you want them to just start using chat, or like what would be your best advice to someone out there who maybe isn't using AI yet? There's a couple of good YouTube videos about I would start searching for stuff to do with your business, your industry, and then how to use AI, and then fill in the blanks, right? Just start with some basic understanding, because it's a big world, and I think you have to start somewhere with a little bit of education. Then once you get the kind of a gist of it, then start small, but start right now on something. Yeah. Like, everyone's probably used to Googling things. So you can use ChatGPT, for example, to search for things too. But the experience is different. Yeah. So that's just a really, really easy way to get started with AI.
ask, what's the closest pizza shop to me, and how much is it, and how long do they deliver to my area, or something like this. Something you would kind of start searching for in your own life, and that's a great place to start. And then just go from there, because it can go and help you with your business stuff as well as your personal life.
Yeah, very cool. You put some cases in here. Is there anything you want to touch on where AI can actually help businesses?
Yeah, I mean, kind of running through that little list, because we're a marketing firm, but it's obviously does so much more than that. So when it comes to operations in companies, we can use AI for scheduling, for supply chain management, inventory levels, fraud detection. So in marketing and sales, social media help, video editing, creative design, all sorts of stuff there, email marketing. Customer service is becoming really popular to kind of create these chat bots. People are probably have seen live chat on different websites these days. When live chat started, there was a person behind the screen actually answering you. Then it became less people and more like automatic, question, answer. Well, if they answer this way, it branches out. And it's just basically a patterned,
like a workflow, or like
a patterned little bot that has canned responses. So, and again, now that's passe, and now we've entered into this age of live AI agents that are trying to simulate what a really good customer service person would be like. You train these agents on all sorts of information, you give them personalities, you give them ways of phrasing things, and all these tools and resources and about your company, and then hopefully they can have a proper human-ish conversation and be really helpful. They can also talk to 1,000 people at once versus obviously a human, so that's a neat way. So in customer service, it's going to be massive AI adoption in that level. And then finances as well. So analyzing numbers and stats and math and figures and percentages. And sometimes AI is terrible at math. It can't even do elementary school math. But other times it can do huge analysis in about 5 seconds and give you insights and connect dots. They're like, wow. I actually ran our own company's finances from QuickBooks, exported them as PDFs, and then our bookkeeper put them into Chat GPT and said, read this stuff and give us some insights. And it was neat. It gave us some stuff that we already knew, but it also said, oh, here's you guys compared to other companies like you across Canada. Oh, on the fly. And it was really, really cool. We wouldn't have thought of that. That would have taken hours to look up, right? And it did it in 10 seconds.
So there's always, you hear that on the other side, oh my God, you're putting your financials in the QuickBooks, or you're putting that in chat?
She deleted them right after that. I mean, in this particular case, because I asked AI about privacy all the time. It's like, oh, nothing's saved. Like, you kind of, really? How are we learning? But I kept asking it. And I said, no, we're not saving anything. Nothing goes upstairs to the headquarters.
Interesting.
But I think AI safety, I kind of phrase it that way, is absolutely a massive issue right this second.
Yeah, we're going to see that, I think. I think we're already seeing that. But okay, so how can Twincreek Media help other businesses in this space? Like, what are you guys offering, or tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not a training company. We're not educators in that sense, and we're not going to help other businesses hook up AI. So not really at all. But we are a growth partner. So we're focused on being a really good marketing department for other companies. We use AI tools to, leverage our own human talent and skill set to get amazing results for companies. So that's how we can help, but not directly with...
Like, you're not creating these AI bots for...
No.
No, okay.
Well...
Maybe down the road.
Can't give away all our secrets. But absolutely, we're going to help with various aspects of AI, but just not like for your whole business. Because we talked about operations and finance. We have nothing to do with that. HR, no. Our specialty is marketing. So we're going to stay in our lane and do a really good job there.
Okay, awesome. So I know you brought a guest. So do we want to bring, what is his name again?
Fergal.
Fergal to the live stream and maybe just have some fun with Fergal.
Okay.
With his nice accent.
So Fergal is a chat GPT. This is a subscription thing you can start for $20 a month, by the way. I just want to caveat that.
Yeah.
The free version doesn't speak as freely as this. But the pro version that's paid, you can actually have a bit of a conversation almost like a human, right? Now remember, Fergal is an AI. It's not a real thing, but Fergal, being ChatGPT, this version knows about 100 times more than the average human at his fingertips. So the information is really cool, even if he's not very funny and his personality is lame, right? So anyway, I'd like to introduce you to Fergal. He named himself. It's an old Irish name. I asked him, like, what name do you want me to call you? Because I didn't want to use the whole thing. So there you are, Fergal. You're live on TV, kind of. Are you listening, bud?
I'm here and listening, James. Thanks for that introduction. I'm feeling quite flattered, even if I'm apparently a bit lame in the personality department. I'm happy to chat with you and Alexa, and I'm ready for all the questions and fun you want to throw my way. Let's do this.
Yeah, so you can see a little bit of personality, a little bit of
cheekiness.
Cheekiness. He's already bantering with us. This is what this particular AI is good at. Some AIs are much more dry, much more scientific. This particular one, ChatGPT, is a language model that's really trying to focus on talking and speaking and understanding words.
Yeah.
You can type into ChatGPT, which is how most people use it.
Yeah.
I really like this voice version because it's more natural.
Yeah, and you can do it while you're driving. You can talk to it when you're cooking a meal. What are some fun ways you are using this?
Yeah, my wife recipes, and I have these ingredients. What's a cool thing I can make tonight? So helping her brainstorm with what to make that night for dinner. So those sorts of things are interesting. I like asking all sorts of questions that I've kind of always wondered about, but I'm too lazy to actually go and research it the old way of typing. You mentioned in the car, and that's a great thing. So I'll have through Apple CarPlay is kind of wired up, and I'll ask Fergal, like, I've always wanted to know about this thing that happened 2,000 years ago, and I'm really skeptical about it. Like I kind of mentioned in the notes there, where I went down this rabbit hole of learning about the origins of all the world religions.
Oh, wow.
And then I had questions about each one and how they like related to each other and stuff, because most of them are quite old, like thousands of years. And it was fascinating. But I went down all these different rabbit holes because I was talking as if it's someone in the car with me who just had studied this stuff before. And I was kind of like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to know this and this. And it was just a kind of an eye-opener, honestly. It was way early in this type of thing where Fergal and I were talking about stuff. It was neat. It was strange as well.
So you went like deep, but that's awesome. I mean, I hear some people having their young kids talk, and your imagination and learning. I think education is going to change a lot, but it is cool. I use chat all the time for health stuff, brainstorming. Not a therapist, but you're in a situation and you're like, what do you recommend I should do? And not always giving you the right answer. You definitely have to keep prompting it, and just can't
yeah,
go with
sometimes
the
you have to
answer.
give it context, and that's the prompting thing that you brought up is going to be a very, very valuable skill for business owners and really for everybody going ahead. And prompting is just a way of asking questions where AI can be most effective. That's all that means. But phrasing your question in the right way. So you could say, hey, Fergal, put on kind of the personality of an expert soccer coach and give me some drills I can do with my 10-year-old who's kind of in a mid-level league in my city.
Absolutely, yeah, and that kind of prompt really helps me tailor the response so you get the most relevant info. It's definitely a skill that can be honed over time, and it can make the AI interaction so much more effective. And it's really cool that you're using it for such a wide variety of things, from health questions to brainstorming. It really can be a handy tool in so many ways.
Can you do that soccer example real quick so people can see how fast you can think?
Sure thing. All right. If I were an expert soccer coach, I'd suggest a few fun and effective drills for your 10-year-old. One great drill is the dribbling obstacle course, where you set up cones and have them weave through to improve their ball control. Another idea is passing drills, where they can practice short passes with a friend or against a wall to build accuracy. And of course, there's always the classic shooting practice, aiming at targets in the goal to improve their finishing skills. Those should be fun and keep them engaged.
Shooting the target in the goal. You mean the dad, right? Stands in net and gets pummeled by the ball.
Exactly. The dad always ends up being the goalie and gets a bit of a workout in the process. It's a win-win. The kid gets to practice their aim, and the dad gets to show off some goalie skills, or at least try to.
James, do you have good goalie skills?
No, awful.
Okay, so is there anything else we want to show off or talk about?
That's a good primer. I think there's lots of pros. There's lots of cons and risks as well. And I think getting to know both of them for business would be a good idea. I wouldn't rush headlong into this, especially if you're a small business. But there's some really good efficiency gains. But take it slow. Like anything, ask lots of questions, and it helps if you have someone else that knows more than you about this to help you along. Just like anything in life, you don't need to go it alone. So experts are going to be super valuable. People that are in touch with technology, they always have been, like IT guys and computer guys. Everyone has someone who's on speed dial to help with what used to be their printer, and then set up my email on my phone and all this stuff. So people that understand AI well are going to be really valuable, which would be a shout out to, or a hint, I would say, to young people, students and people coming into the job force. Don't ignore this. Get ahead, start learning AI, put it on your resume, take some courses. There's lots of good ones out there.
Yeah, and there's lots of, we're going to write an article and put some of your links for YouTube, but there's lots of good resources out there online. You can really become an expert. You just have to commit.
That's
and
right.
do the time.
Yep.
Okay, so what's the best way if people wanted some marketing support or had questions? Are you just go to the website, Twincreek Media, or what's the best way to contact you guys?
Yeah, for sure. Everything's on there on our website, twincreekmedia.com, and just go to our contact page. Yep, we have a form right there. We also still have our phone number posted.
Nice.
Unlike some big technology companies that took off the phone number. Again, we're human first.
Yes.
So we're here to help.
I feel like that's so important. Like a phone. I don't know why businesses take off. I get it. Some of these big, you can't just go call Facebook and all these places, but especially your style, this boutique marketing, you definitely want to be someone to talk to a human.
That's right.
No offense. Great accent, but I'd rather talk to James.
Yeah.
Maybe talk to chat later. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming in and spending some time. And once again, congratulations on your Best of Awards. It is a very big deal because, Kelowna, I love that about Kelowna is we are big supporters of community and trying to support local. And I think more than ever, I know that we've been saying that over the years, but I really feel like with everything that's going on in the world and all this stuff, it really helps. You're giving people in our community jobs. So it's important to support local where you can.
Exactly. I love it.
Okay. Well, thank you and have a good rest of your afternoon.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.